Honorable sisters, brothers, and friends, I must give credit where credit is due. If I've had success, it's because of great inspiration by parents, family members, and friends. I think of their great honesty, uh, achievements, and courage, and I say, well, I have to at least try to be equal to that. And then of late, there's the mutual understanding of personal pride and intellectual and authoritative achievement. That's not easy. That takes a lot of dedication, of real ability and determination. And I like to say that I've learned to be humble. And that is, I think, also a trait of someone who has confidence. And then I have one other thing to mention. I'm going to say we in what I present and ask if you have a question, but you must put, I am at least 21 years of age and I have this question. I don't have time for comments. It's only 24 hours in a day. But because of various nations and states' laws concerning you voice, say, one that can say, well, you're consulting, you're advising minors. And then also there are those Hoovers who pose as something to try to get yours truly to pick one of two items that they can say is incorrect and to have their criminally insane gyrations that they throw at me. It gets really boring. There's a sheer vertical drop, almost bottomless. I think it is bottomless now, from those who are sisters, brothers, and friends, parents, sister, brother, friends, and that is great level. And then there's the hellish Hoovers, and so with that, I'll get to I say authoritative position in the discipline of theology, and maybe in a couple others disciplines, and that is to answer the toughest questions. The toughest being, if God created this earth and this solar system and this universe, which is tremendous, how could this earth have the conditions it has, especially genocide by children, women, and men? This genocide is really, in my opinion, sinful, criminal, animalistic. It's not. I've heard expression that human beings are worse than animals as far as being cruel. Now, How could God have created something like that and lets it continue? And then I'll put forward some of the toughest, from especially a scientific viewpoint, and from what I've survived and experienced. And that is, if Jesus Christ really appeared before me, and he did, was it a trick, this 3D hologram? Was it a trick, or was it real? Or was I dreaming? I have to say, if I was dreaming, then I was dreaming that I was awake and touching things to make sure I was awake and looking around and then trying to get up to touch the vision, which I now realize is wrong. Then the vision disappeared. The reason I doubted the vision is because it was what I would say, or I have seen, or what I would say is what the Spirit of Jesus Christ is: height, weight, appearance, was opaque. I could not see through the vision. It was opaque, was like solid. Now, when the vision mentioned my name, then I doubted. There's no way I thought that I could possibly rate Jesus Christ talking to me personally and saying my name. That's when I said, well, maybe this is a trick, and I got to get up and see and touch this vision. That maybe was incorrect. I say that because there are the children of, I think it's called Metagoria or Metsagoria. These are children that the most recent have visions. Many continuous to this day. They have been filmed, tested, retested, recorded, anything you can think of. But nobody can say that they are not seeing the vision. And when I saw the first film after they saw their visions, when I saw the first film, I immediately said, I recognize they are seeing a vision. I don't care what anybody says. I recognize they are seeing a vision. And there was even one woman that was scientific psychologist, I think. And she told the children, ask the lady if I can touch her. And they said, all right. So they asked, and then they said, yeah, the lady says you can come up and touch me for verification. So she goes up there and tells the children so that she can put her hand on the lady's shoulder. And they guided her hand, and she says when she touched the vision, she obtained some reaction that she says was at least like when you have static and you touch a doorknob, you get, it wasn't one of electrical, it was just something flowed from that vision through her that she could really feel. And so now she, I think, is a believer, stopped doubting and asking questions. I say that because I contacted the representative of the one that's in the United States, and they travel around, some of them. They still have visions. You can go and be there in person as they see the visions. But that isn't publicized. What is publicized is there's a man on the moon, and oh, for sure, there's people in Mars, and there's these flying around, and there's got to be life somewhere. Oh, that takes the money in their budget. There's always someplace else that they can look. They said there was, well, now it's in the next place. They're looking, you see. But let's get to the toughest questions. And now that is, how could God have this earth with its conditions and allow the conditions to continue? So I asked the representative of them to ask the children, to ask Our Lady, that if a man has seen a vision of Christ and doubted it, and this vision disappeared, why does God need a woman, his mother, to tell people to pray to have peace? Why doesn't God himself come down here, just one visit, and would stop this genocidal war? Why wouldn't Christ himself appear to people and say, you have to stop this genocidal war? And I think that might stop it. Instead of their Christ's mother saying that we all have to pray to get peace. Why is she appearing instead of a man? Because war is conducted mainly by men. Why doesn't then God and Christ, man to man, appear and say, you can't have this genocide? They haven't answered. Maybe they got busy and forgot. But nobody seems to challenge. I challenge and say, I'm the world's greatest. Nobody challenges me directly and subject matter. I have the criminally insane King George, Queen Hoover, not democracy, hypocrites, hypocrisy, work day and night for the last at least 50 years to cut me down, to make me look not religious, to make me look not whatever. They're always trying to get me to do something that's illegal. They try to force me to do something that they can say is illegal or is maybe not socially as they would in class, somebody that has money and so forth. Well, I should be one of the richest and honored men in the world, actually. What I've achieved, just the Xerox photoelectric copier from Rochester, New York, the original work, gave it the name. Light application of electromagnetic radiation. I'll say it again, light application of electromagnetic radiation. It's considered, I think, maybe #1 in the world. Therefore, who am I? I say, well, discuss. If you have a question, ask, challenge me. Welcome that. Not sinful, criminal, crazy, hooveristic nonsense. It's a sheer drop between those of intellectual, really authoritative, with pride and so forth, and this King George, Queen Hoover, criminally insane hypocrisy with their gyrations and crimes. You see? That's the situation of the world. But from a scientific viewpoint, how could this world so vast be created by sort of even a divine being? And you go to where Christ said, of the apostles, one of them said, I want to be like you. And he says, you don't know what you ask. humans, there's natural material, and then there's the supernatural divine. So until next midweek happy hour, you can be happy with confidence that God does give credit where credit is due. Putting it in plain English, American English. If I was in another country, I'd speak their language or what language they would prefer. So with that, I say until next happy hour, then next midweek happy hour. If you have a question, please ask, and practice safety. And I say to us, thank you, and have fun.